Did you ever imagine what getting older would truly be like? Not the polished, perfect picture you sometimes see, but the honest, unvarnished truth of it. We spend so much of our lives moving forward, building, striving, and then, suddenly, we're here. And sometimes, the reality of getting older hits differently than we ever anticipated. It's not just about the lines on our faces or the creaks in our joints. It's about a deeper set of shifts, some profound, some subtle, that no one really prepares us for. There are harsh truths that people often shy away from talking about, almost as if acknowledging them makes them more real or more painful. But I believe that facing these realities head-on, understanding them, and finding ways to navigate them is precisely how we gain strength, wisdom, and genuine peace in this next chapter of life. In this video, we're going to bravely look at 5 of these difficult truths about getting older that often go unspoken. And more importantly, how we can embrace them, learn from them, and continue to live our lives fully and richly. So, watch to the very end, because there's something waiting for you that might just surprise you and shift your perspective entirely. So, let's dive right into the first truth, the one that often hits us closest to home, and perhaps the one we feel most intimately, the undeniable, sometimes frustrating, and often unexpected ways our physical bodies change. It's not just about grand ailments or major health scares, though those can certainly be a part of it. It's often the subtle, daily annoyances, the quiet whispers of change that become louder over time. Remember when you could just spring out of bed without a thought, or twist and turn without a twinge? Remember when a full day of gardening or a long walk felt invigorating, not exhausting for many of us? Those memories now feel like a distant echo. The harsh truth is that our bodies, no matter how well we've treated them, simply don't recover as quickly or perform as effortlessly as they once did. That persistent ache in your knee after a brisk walk, the stiffness in your shoulders after a night's sleep, the newfound difficulty opening a stubborn jar, or the way your energy levels seem to dip unpredictably in the afternoon. These are the quiet truths of an aging body, and it's not just about strength or flexibility. Our vision might blur a little more easily. Our hearing might miss a subtle nuance in conversation. Our digestion might become a bit more particular, or our sleep might become fragmented, leaving us feeling less rested than before. It's a constant, often surprising, process of adaptation. We might look in the mirror and not entirely recognize the person looking back, or find ourselves frustrated by limitations we never anticipated. The emotional toll of these changes can be significant. There's a sense of loss for the body we once had, a quiet grief for the effortless ease of youth. We might feel a pang of sadness when we can't keep up with grandchildren on the playground, or when a favorite hobby like hiking or dancing becomes more challenging than joyful. We might even feel a sense of betrayal from our own bodies, as if they're letting us down. But here's where we shift our perspective. While these changes are undeniably real, the harsh truth isn't that our bodies are failing us, but that our expectations might need adjusting. The strength lies not in clinging to what was, but in embracing what is, and learning to work with it. What does this mean in practice first? It means listening to your body with a newfound respect and patience. Pushing through pain isn't courageous. It's often counterproductive. Instead, it's about understanding its new language. Maybe that long walk is now better as 2 shorter ones. Maybe resistance bands are a better choice than heavy weights for maintaining strength without strain. Perhaps a simple morning stretching routine, a gentle yoga session, or a daily walk around the neighborhood becomes your new source of vitality, focusing on movement that brings comfort and capability. Not just intensity, it's also about proactive care. Our bodies, now more than ever, thrive on thoughtful nutrition, adequate hydration, and consistent, gentle movement. This isn't about dieting or intense workouts. It's about fueling your body with nourishing foods that support joint health, energy, and digestion, like plenty of colorful vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. It's about drinking enough water throughout the day to keep everything functioning smoothly. And it's about prioritizing rest, understanding that quality sleep is not a luxury, but a necessity for recovery and repair. Think about it less as fighting against decline and more as a mindful stewardship of a precious vessel that has carried you through decades of life. Celebrate what your body can still do, rather than lamenting what it can no longer do as easily. Perhaps you can't run a marathon anymore, but can you still enjoy a leisurely stroll in the park? Can you still lift your grandchildren? Even if it's with a little more care, can you still enjoy the taste of a home-cooked meal, even if your digestive system prefers lighter fare? The truth isn't that our bodies are breaking down beyond repair. It's that they are evolving, and so must our approach to them. This evolution calls for compassion, self-awareness, and a willingness to explore new ways of moving, eating, and resting that support our current reality. By doing so, we don't just endure the physical changes, we find new ways to thrive within them, discovering a different kind of strength and resilience that comes only with age and experience. Now, as our bodies continue their journey, there's another truth that often creeps in, less about what's happening inside us, and more about how the world around us perceives it. This is the harsh truth that society, often subtly, sometimes overtly, can make you feel invisible or irrelevant as you get older. Think about it. The media often focuses on youth, innovation, and dynamic new ideas, rarely showcasing the wisdom, experience, and enduring value that comes with age. In the workplace, you might find yourself overlooked for promotions, or your ideas dismissed simply because they come from someone who's been around for a while. Younger colleagues might inadvertently, or even intentionally, sideline you, assuming you're not up to date or adaptable. Job hunting can become a demoralizing experience, with resumes seemingly disappearing into a black hole the moment an age-related milestone is evident. Beyond the professional sphere, this invisibility can extend to social settings. Conversations might gravitate towards topics you no longer feel a part of, or you might find that your insights, born from decades of life, are met with polite but disengaged nods. You might feel a growing sense of being put out to pasture, as if your contributions are no longer needed or valued. This can be incredibly disheartening. We spend our lives contributing, learning, building, and then, just as we have accumulated a wealth of knowledge and perspective, the world seems to imply we're past our prime, our voices less important, our presence less impactful. It's a quiet form of dismissal, and it can erode self-worth and purpose. The sting of being ignored or feeling redundant can lead to isolation, a reluctance to engage, and even a loss of identity if our sense of self was too tied to external validation or professional roles. But this harsh truth, while painful, also presents an opportunity for profound liberation. The real harshness isn't society's perception, but our willingness to accept it as our own reality. The liberation comes from realizing that your worth is not dictated by external validation, nor does it diminish with age. What does this mean for us first? It means actively challenging the narrative of invisibility. Your voice, your experiences, your wisdom, they are incredibly valuable. Seek out spaces where they are appreciated. This might mean finding new communities, whether online or in person, that celebrate diverse age groups and experiences. It could involve volunteering for causes you care deeply about, where your life skills and dedication are not just valued, but essential. Consider mentoring younger individuals, sharing your insights, and bridging generational gaps. This isn't about clinging to the past, but about actively participating in the present and shaping the future. Second, it's about redefining what relevance means to you. Is it about being at the cutting edge of every trend? Or is it about cultivating deep relationships, pursuing personal passions, and contributing in ways that bring you joy and meaning. Perhaps it's about learning something entirely new, simply for the pleasure of it. A new language, a musical instrument, a craft. This pursuit of personal growth, regardless of external recognition, is a powerful antidote to feeling irrelevant. Your worth is inherent, not granted by fleeting trends or societal whims. By embracing this, you step into a profound personal power. You choose to be visible, to be relevant, on your own terms. You might discover that the greatest contributions you make now are not in the boardrooms or busy social circuits, but in the quiet moments of connection, in the sharing of stories, in the wisdom you embody. This truth, then, isn't just about societal perception. It's about reclaiming your intrinsic value and confidently occupying your space in the world, regardless of what anyone else might believe. It's a tough pill to swallow, this sense of being overlooked, and it often ties into another deeply personal truth about getting older, one that many of us face quietly: the evolving landscape of our social connections. This is the harsh truth that your social circle will inevitably shrink, and loneliness can become a real, sometimes overwhelming, challenge. Think about it. Friends move away, perhaps for retirement or to be closer to family. Some succumb to illness or simply pass on, leaving a void that feels impossible to fill. The daily rhythms that once brought you into contact with people, work, school runs, community groups that have since disbanded, change or disappear entirely. Children grow up, start their own lives, and while the love remains, the frequency of contact might lessen. Suddenly, the bustling social calendar of your younger years might seem like a distant dream, replaced by quieter days and evenings. The phone rings less often, the invitations are fewer, and even when you do connect, the shared experiences, the mutual understanding that comes from navigating similar life stages, might begin to dwindle. This isn't about anyone abandoning you. It's a natural, albeit painful, consequence of life's relentless march, and the impact of this shrinking circle can be profound. Loneliness isn't just about being alone. It's about feeling disconnected, misunderstood, or unseen. Even when surrounded by others, it can lead to a sense of isolation, sadness, and even impact physical health. We are social beings, wired for connection, and when those ties fray or break, it leaves a profound ache. This truth can be particularly difficult to admit, as there's often a stigma around loneliness, a feeling that perhaps it's a sign of personal failure. But it's not. It's a common, poignant reality of getting older, one that many people experience, but few openly discuss. However, recognizing this harsh truth is the first step toward transforming it. The liberation here lies in understanding that connection isn't about quantity, but quality, and that the nature of your relationships can deepen and evolve in beautiful ways. What can we do first? Be proactive in cultivating new connections and nurturing existing ones. This doesn't mean desperately seeking out new friends to fill a void, but rather opening yourself up to opportunities for genuine connection. Consider joining groups aligned with your interests: a book club, a walking group, a local arts class, a volunteer organization, or even a community garden. These shared activities provide a natural foundation for new friendships. Attend local events, workshops, or lectures. Sometimes, the most meaningful connections arise from unexpected places when we simply show up and are open to interaction. Second, focus on deepening the relationships you do have, with fewer, perhaps, but stronger bonds. You can invest more energy in truly knowing and being known by those who remain. Make a conscious effort to reach out to family and friends regularly, not just for special occasions. A simple phone call, a thoughtful card, or a casual coffee invitation can strengthen ties immensely. Perhaps you can suggest a regular video call with distant relatives, or a weekly walk with a close friend. It's about intentionality. Third, embrace the power of intergenerational connections. Younger people often crave the wisdom and perspective that older individuals possess, and you, in turn, can gain fresh perspectives and a sense of vitality from their company. This could be through mentoring, volunteering in schools, or simply striking up conversations with younger neighbors or family members. Finally, challenge the stigma of loneliness. Acknowledge the feeling without shame. It's a signal, not a failing. It's a call to action to seek out connection. And by doing so, you not only enrich your own life, but also create ripples of connection for others. This truth isn't about losing friends. It's about refining your circle, appreciating the depth of companionship, and understanding that, even in solitude, there are opportunities to cultivate new, meaningful bonds that sustain and enrich you. As we navigate these shifting social sands and the way the world sees us, we often find our gaze turning inward, and sometimes backward, to another challenging truth of getting older. This is the harsh truth that the future feels less certain, and the past looms larger, sometimes leading to more reflection, and at times, regret. When we're young, the future stretches out endlessly before us, a canvas for our dreams, ambitions, and plans. We focus on what's next: a new job, a family, a big trip, retirement. But as we age, that sense of infinite possibility begins to contract. The future feels less about what we will achieve and more about what might happen. Health challenges, losses, diminishing physical capacity. This uncertainty can be unsettling, even frightening, especially when the path ahead becomes less clearly defined. And concurrently, the past begins to take on a new prominence. Memories, both vivid and faded, resurface with greater frequency. We reflect on choices made, opportunities taken or missed, words said or left unsaid. This reflection can be beautiful, a chance to appreciate a life well lived and the experiences that shaped us. But it can also be a source of discomfort, as regrets, the if-onlys, and what-ifs surface. We might dwell on perceived mistakes, feel a pang of sadness for paths not taken, or wish we had done things differently. There's a poignant awareness of time passing, and the realization that certain chapters are irrevocably closed. The sheer volume of accumulated memories, both joyful and painful, can be overwhelming. And the question of legacy, of what we're leaving behind, often comes to the forefront. This truth is not about becoming morbid or melancholic. It's a natural part of the human experience as we approach the later chapters of life. It's a confrontation with our own mortality, a quiet reckoning with the finite nature of time and the weight of a life lived. It can lead to existential questions about purpose, meaning, and whether we truly lived the life we intended. But here's the transformative power within this harsh truth. The future's uncertainty compels us to live more fully in the present, and the past's reflections offer invaluable lessons for finding peace and wisdom right now. The liberation comes from understanding that uncertainty isn't a void to fear, but an invitation to embrace the rich fullness of today, and that regret can be reframed into acceptance and growth. What does this mean in practice first? It's about consciously cultivating presence, instead of worrying excessively about a future you can't fully control, or reliving a past you can't change. Ground yourself in the now. Practice mindfulness, truly taste your food. Feel the sun on your skin. Listen to the sounds of nature. Engage deeply in conversations, giving your full attention. This isn't about ignoring planning for the future or dismissing your past, but about dedicating more of your mental energy to the only moment you truly possess. Second, regarding the past, it's about reframing regret. Regret often stems from a longing for a different outcome. Instead of dwelling on the what-ifs, try to extract the lessons learned. What did that experience teach you about yourself, about others, about life? Can you find compassion for your past self, recognizing that you made the best choices you could with the information and understanding you had at the time? Sometimes, forgiveness of yourself or of others involved is the key to releasing the grip of the past. Perhaps you can't change what happened, but you can change your relationship with it. Consider writing down your memories, both good and challenging. This can be a powerful way to process them, to acknowledge the journey, and to find a sense of narrative coherence. Many people find comfort in sharing their life stories, either with loved ones or through memoirs, transforming personal history into a legacy of wisdom. Finally, it's about actively shaping your present to create a positive future. One small, intentional step at a time. This could mean dedicating time to a long-held passion, building a closer bond with family, or simply creating daily routines that bring you joy and a sense of accomplishment. The harsh truth is that time marches on. But the profound wisdom is that every moment is an opportunity to choose how you engage with it, to find peace with your journey, and to create a legacy not just of accomplishments, but of a life lived with integrity and presence. It's a profound shift, isn't it? Moving from looking forward with boundless ambition to looking back with a different kind of understanding. And this deep reflection often leads us to the fifth and perhaps most liberating truth about getting older. You'll have to redefine what success and happiness truly mean, letting go of youthful aspirations that no longer serve you. For so much of our lives, our definitions of success were often external career milestones, financial achievements, raising a family, acquiring possessions, societal recognition, and happiness was often tied to reaching those goals or enjoying the rewards they brought. But as we age, those benchmarks often lose their luster or become less attainable. The career may have ended, the kids are grown, the house is paid for, or perhaps the things we thought would bring ultimate satisfaction simply don't. The harsh truth is that clinging to these old definitions can lead to a sense of unfulfillment, a feeling of being adrift or purposeless, because the goalposts have moved, or perhaps disappeared entirely. You might find yourself asking, "What now?" Or, "Is this all there is?" This can be a period of intense introspection, and for some, even a crisis of identity. If their sense of self was primarily tied to their roles or achievements from earlier life stages, the notion that you should still be striving for the same kind of external achievements that drove you in your 30s or 40s is not only unrealistic, but can be deeply unfulfilling. You might even feel a sense of failure if you compare your current life to the ambitious dreams of your younger self, or to the seemingly active lives of others your age. This truth pushes us to shed old expectations and confront the question of what truly matters in this phase of life. But this isn't a truth of diminishment. It's an invitation to a richer, deeper, more authentic happiness. The liberation comes from realizing that true success in later life isn't about accumulation, but about appreciation, not about external validation, but internal contentment. It's about discovering profound joy in simpler things, in the everyday, and in the richness of your inner world. So, what does redefining success and happiness look like first? It's about shifting from doing to being. While staying active and engaged is important, the pressure to constantly achieve or produce can be replaced by a focus on connection, presence, and simple pleasures. Success might now be measured not by your bank balance, but by the quality of your relationships. Happiness might come from a perfect cup of tea in the morning, a heartfelt conversation with a loved one, the beauty of a sunset, or the quiet satisfaction of a well-tended garden. It's about finding meaning in the small moments that often went unnoticed in the rush of life. Second, it's about prioritizing experiences over possessions and learning over earning. Perhaps that dream trip you always put off is now your priority. Or maybe it's not a grand adventure, but simply exploring your local area, visiting new museums, trying new recipes, or learning a new skill purely for the joy of it. This continued engagement with learning and curiosity keeps the mind sharp and the spirit vibrant, giving a new sense of purpose that isn't tied to external metrics. Third, embrace the concept of legacy in a broader sense. It's not just about what you leave behind in terms of assets, but the wisdom you share, the stories you tell, the values you embody, and the positive impact you have on those around you. Your success might now be defined by the love you cultivate, the compassion you extend, and the peace you find within yourself. It's about becoming your authentic self, shedding the layers of expectation and societal pressure. This period of life, far from being an ending, can be a profound beginning, a chance to truly live in alignment with your deepest values. So, there you have them, the 5 harsh truths no one dares to tell you: the unexpected physical changes, the societal tendency to make us feel invisible, the inevitable shrinking of our social circles, the shift from future focus to past reflection and uncertainty, and the crucial need to redefine success and happiness. But as we've discussed, each of these truths, while challenging, holds a powerful seed of liberation. They are not limitations, but invitations. Invitations to listen to our bodies with more compassion, to reclaim our inherent worth regardless of external validation, to cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections, to find peace with our past and presence in our present, and to discover a more profound, authentic happiness that truly resonates with who we are now. Remember, small shifts in perspective, coupled with intentional action, can make an enormous difference to your health, your happiness, and your sense of purpose in this wonderful, ongoing journey of life. You are not alone in facing these truths, and acknowledging them is the first courageous step towards embracing this unique and powerful chapter of your life. I truly hope this conversation has given you something to ponder, something to hold on to, or perhaps a fresh way of looking at your own experiences. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these truths, or any other insights you've gained from your own journey of getting older. Please share them in the comments below. Your experiences are valuable and can help so many others. If you found this video helpful or thought-provoking, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more conversations like this. Together, we can navigate this journey with greater wisdom, joy, and connection. Live your best life at every age,